All right, these are the 10 things you need to know if you're thinking about moving to Tampa in 2023. Here we go. I'm Sam, and this is the Living in Tampa channel, where we make these videos for you about what it's like to live and move to the Tampa area. We're also a team of realtors, and we would love to earn your business. Our phone number and email are right there on the screen and in the description down below. Tampa was a super popular relocation destination, really from 2020 right now to 2023. Super popular. During the pandemic, seemed like a lot of people were talking about it. It was up on the list of most migrated to areas, but it actually wasn't growing much faster than it was before the pandemic. But if you're thinking about moving here, which you probably, if you're watching this, you probably are thinking about moving here, I want to just give some high-level things that you need to be thinking about before you make the move. Number one, Tampa is big. When you think of the Tampa metro area, it's close to 4 million people. And from one corner to the other, it takes about an hour and a half to drive. Now, that's not crazy. But if you're moving to a place like this, you're probably thinking better quality of life, less time in traffic, closer to the things you want to be close to. So it's really important to really identify the things you want to be close to. And I often like to, bugs out here. And I often like to break down Tampa into layers. So you have the beach, you have the city, you have the suburbs. And they really are kind of like layers. Like over on the west coast, you have the beach, central, you have the city. To the east, you have suburbs. To the north, you have suburbs too. Number two thing you need to know is that Tampa is better than Orlando. I was actually talking to a friend thinking about moving to the area, thinking about moving to Florida, and he's like, tell me why Tampa is actually better than Orlando. Orlando's really only better if you're obsessed with Disney and Universal. And even those things aren't that far from here. The city of Orlando just focuses and around that so much, and it makes sense. Like, that's where a lot of money comes. A lot of people are coming to those kind of destinations if they're coming to Orlando. Orlando often has more tourists out of the metro area in a year than Manhattan does. I mean, it's like 60 million or something before the pandemic, and that year before the pandemic. So it's crowded, it's big tourist influx, and which isn't a big deal, but if you are calling that place home, it's kind of weird to have that tourist influx always in your home. Okay, number three, Tampa is better than Miami. Now, why is Tampa better than Miami? And of course, I'm biased, blah, blah, blah. But in this conversation, we were also talking to a friend that lives in Miami. Lived in Miami, now he lives in Boynton Beach to the north of Miami. So even somebody born and raised in Miami chooses to not live in Miami. And what he said was, Miami is a place where people go to show their money. And people want to dress up and drive the nice car and go out on the town. And most people, that's just not your vibe. So that's why Tampa's better than Miami. Okay, number four thing you need to know. In the whole Tampa area, so the Tampa, St. Petersburg, Clearwater Metropolitan Statistical Area, St. Petersburg has a really unique vibe. It's a really old town on the water, on the bay side mostly. Then there's St. Pete Beach, which is technically a different town. But St. Petersburg has its own energy, has this really like communal feel. People are really invested in St. Pete being cool, being fun, being interesting, big like artist vibes, big local community, farmers market, outdoor event kind of vibes. It's actually a really cool town, and it's pretty different than Tampa proper. Okay, number five. People think Pasco County to the north is kind of the country, but it's really not. So my father-in-law was born and raised in Pinellas County, my mother-in-law in Pasco County, and he's always just kind of down on her about that. Annoying in the first place, but I kind of like Pasco County. It's pretty charming. A lot of places like this. I'm actually in Pinellas County right now. This is a park. But there's a lot of space like this in Pasco County, and there's just more of it up there. A lot of big master plan communities up on the north side of Pasco County, like Epperson and Murata, now Angeline going in. Those are all the same developer, but there's a lot of others, like Bexley, which is developed by Newland. There's so many spaces like that up there. And then on the west side, you do have water access through a river that goes through Newport Richey, but then you also have the Gulf right over there too. So Pasco County is not the country. It has its own vibe. It's not the same as the rest of the area, but just give me a call. We'll sort through that. Okay, number 6, if you're looking at moving to the area and you're looking at one of these really amenity-rich neighborhoods, like a master plan community, luxury condos, things like that. You're often gonna have 2 different additional monthly expenses. HOA, you're probably expecting to have an HOA if you have one of these big crystal lagoons, you have trails, all those kind of things. Then you have CDDs, which contribute to your property taxes. So just think like the property taxes are gonna be another 1%, additional 1%. The CDD fluctuates a lot. I'm working on an explainer video to kind of demonstrate what I actually mean by CDD. Essentially, the CDD is the infrastructure, all the money that was borrowed from the state to build the roads and bridges and internet lines and sewer lines and all of that kind of stuff. And that's usually like hundreds of millions of dollars. It's a lot of money. Okay, number 7 thing you need to know is oh gosh, so many bugs. Number 7 thing you need to know is that most houses that are really close to the water are pretty old. Why is this the case? Whether it's the beaches, the bay, the lakes, rivers, whatever, most of these houses are pretty old. Think about when there was nothing in this area. The people that moved down here, they're like, oh, I want to build my house over there. That mostly just happened in the 50s. So now we're dealing with all these old houses that are built too low, that are needing to be remodeled or things like that. A lot of them get torn down and new houses get built, but there's still a lot of older houses on the water. Number 8 thing you need to know is do some research on the homeowner's insurance mess that exists with predatory roofers and all kinds of hurricane claims and flood insurance and blah, blah, blah. The thing is, I think it's going to get messier before it gets better. At the least, it's going to get more expensive before it gets better. What has happened is a lot of insurers have left the state because of just paying out too big of claims. That's pretty normal kind of stuff. Why a business would stop selling a product somewhere. If they're losing money, they're gonna go somewhere else. But then there's this state-backed insurance company called Citizens. That is a good option for a lot of people, but it's state subsidized and it's losing money, losing too much money, more money than they intended. So they're finding ways to make those prices jump faster or to make you take another provider. For instance, I heard that Citizens, when you renew, is going to make you get a competing quote. And if that quote is less than 30% more, 20% more, I don't remember what the number is, you're required to take the other one. Even though you have a cheaper quote and a more expensive quote, depending on what the difference is, you might be denied from Citizens and required to take the more expensive one. They're gonna start doing things like that. It's gonna get messy and expensive before it gets any better. Okay, number 9, flood insurance is also gonna get messy. Just like Citizens is gonna get messy. If you're covered by Citizens and you live in a flood zone, you're not always required to carry flood insurance like Flood Zone X. You're often not required to carry any kind of flood insurance, but Citizens will now require you to carry that. So one of my friends that lives in Flood Zone X, he was saying that his is like $500 a year. Some of them are more. Some people are on fixed income, and that's just a shock. It's gonna be really challenging for a lot of people when this change happens. But flood insurance is a factor. It's avoidable. Sometimes it's not as expensive as you think, but it's just something you gotta keep in mind. Okay, number 10, the schools in general in the whole Tampa area are not that great. There's a few public schools that are really good. There's a few private schools that are really good. But I think the schools are gonna get a lot better, especially Pasco County. If you look into the new school being built just south of the new Angeline community, it's a STEM school like grades 6 through 10 at first, and then they're gonna add 11 and 12. But they're doing more innovative schools like this where they're just trying to approach it a little bit differently, kind of trying to learn from what's happening in the school systems and adapt. And I think a lot of the areas will do this, but those changes take a long time. Okay, that's the list. But if I needed to add another one, number 11 thing you need to know about the Tampa area is the bugs. The bugs are biting me like crazy. I think it's no-see-ums that are biting me right here. You can also hear cicadas. I just get bit. Like, I think if my wife was standing here next to me, they would be biting me and not biting her. So if you're a person that is sensitive to bug bites, it's something you have to think about pretty regularly. It's quite a pain. If you missed our Is Tampa Becoming Unaffordable video, I think that will add a lot of insight into what the market is like right now, how some of our clients are approaching it, how some of them are backing off, how some of them are moving forward. That video is linked up above. I think that will be a good next step for you. And as always, we would love a chance to earn your real estate business. Our phone number and email are right there on the screen. Give us a call, text, or email anytime. Thanks for coming by.